Sure, we're releasing this one. I'm looking at the calendar. Releasing this one on October 27th. That's pretty close to Halloween.
This is the Halloween episode. This is it.
You say that I got egg on my face. I didn't think of anything spooky. I got no spooky content for this one. I really dropped the ball. Joe, you gotta be the hero here. Do you have anything spooky?
No. Oh wait, no. I have an idea for a haunted house.
Well, okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
Wait, is it going to be like a good haunted house or like?
No,
I've been to this haunted house that sucked.
Thing.
Okay, a scary one.
Like the purpose of a haunted house, as far as I can tell, is to fill you with abject terror, just like white knuckle, in-person freaks. Generally push your limits of comfort, and I have figured out how to basically take that fear vector, and push it to new heights.
That fear response where like you forget that you're like a human being with like thoughts and a house and like a bank account.
Yeah, you're actually a deer that's freaked out.
Yeah, you're a deer and like the knife is like already coming down on your neck. There's no hope. That kind of fear.
Okay, so the haunted house is one person at a time. And what it is you at the start you go in. And it's a bathroom, and then you get guided into a bathroom stall, and then the door is closed behind you, and then someone just like jiggles the handle and doesn't listen to you when you say you're in there for a half hour.
Jesus Christ, Joe, what you've described to me is the spookiest experience I could possibly imagine. What an incredible haunted house.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you sit down on the toilet or not. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, once you're in the stall and you hear that, and this is not like, a lot of horror people think that like less is more, you know, instead of having big bombastic music during their horror movies, it's like, very slow and quiet nursery rhymes. And it's like they think that, you know, don't show the monster, only sort of suggest it. That's not what we're going for here. We're talking like a real loud, hard shaking of the fucking handle of this stall. Like someone's really hammering on it.
Yeah, it's not a monster, though. It's like clearly someone on their phone not listening to you, which is like extra scary.
Joe, you did what you said didn't really scan because you've just described is a monster.
Yeah. I meant like a Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
There are no bolts in this guy's neck.
Whew, Joe, I gotta tell you, like, I thought this was gonna be a goof, but like, you have actually pitched a incredible haunted house. Like, this is one of the scariest experiences I could ever imagine.
Yeah, it costs $100.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anime Sickos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast. It's the podcast where we take a look at the four pillars of modern misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom in Anime Sicko.
I'm Joe in Anime Sicko.
Joe, you been on any good websites lately?
No, and fuck you for asking. Like, it's never had a... No, I've not had a good time on a website.
Ever?
Well, in a long time. I don't know. Like, I think I went to a Game Facts this week for an old Super Nintendo game. That was all right.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Joe, because I'll tell you what, the internet is terrible. Just a holistic, top-to-bottom piece of shit that is no good and is awful to interface with. And I know some of you might be saying, Sickos, didn't you just talk about how much the internet sucks in the Sickos Fight in the Battle Arena, where you likened being a person who creates art and media on the internet to being person who is fighting in a horrible coliseum to the death. Is that not saying that the internet sucks? Are you not running out of ideas? Well, you're right and wrong. One, we are running out of ideas.
Always.
Two,
Like, it's every day is a struggle.
two, that was about specifically how that part of using the internet sucks. We're just pulling the scope back and realizing that the whole structure of the internet is such that there's no activity you can do on it that doesn't suck ass. They're all bad.
It's a hostile user experience, like every aspect of it. I have said this before, that there's too many fucking apps, and that's still true. But the reason every company wants you to download their app, it's because, like, the average mobile browser experience is just a hostile user interaction. It sucks. It blows. I hate having to, like, read anything on my phone because there's just a bunch of ads that haven't loaded yet.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And I'm aware you can block stuff and everything, but it doesn't change the fact that everything loads and fits.
Yes. It will. I have my phone set to default to reader mode if it's possible, which I don't really understand what reader mode is. What I feel like it is it just loads text and doesn't load the fucking like theme of the page and like the layout and all the pictures. It's just the text. And some of the times that works, but sometimes I open up a page, it goes to reader mode, and like the first paragraph loads and I have to wait like a full minute for any other fucking words to show up. And if you've read any writing on the internet in the last decade, you will know that the first paragraph of any given piece of writing on the internet is it might as well be a list of keywords. Like they shouldn't even try to make it into sentences. It's just noise. There's no usefulness in reading it. I remember in my terrible Evanston job that I had with Kevin Johnson, Guesto Kevin Johnson. You'll remember the classic episode where we talked about our terrible Evanston job. We got told again and again, and we had to see all types of best practice people say this, that mobile browsing was the future, that anyone who's involved with web development and web design needs to understand that the top priority is ease of use with mobile browsing. We have to make sure that every website is optimized so that mobile browser users can see it very easily and will be a good experience. And I don't know what the fuck was going on there, because nobody listened to that.
That wasn't wrong necessarily. The mobile browser like was the future, but not for like ease of use. It was just like, this is the venue to cram a bunch of ads in. This is a space where there wasn't tons of ads being beamed into people's heads. So now we gotta fucking fix that.
Yeah. You talked about that GameFAQs site you've been to being the one positive experience you've had.
Yeah,
recently.
It's a text file. You can control F the boss's name. It makes so much more sense. Right now, if you try to search for information on like a game that has like come out like semi-recently, like something that's not like a throwback, you'll probably you're fucked, because like there's a bunch of like fake help articles written in advance from like Games Radar or something, where like I remember playing Monster Hunter Ultimate when it came out. There was so many of those fucking pages that were just like, how do I do blank? And like the site is just like, boy oh boy, getting keyword you needed sure is a great way to advance the game. And it's like the third fucking like hit, and because of the way like existing pages sort of get prioritized, my understanding is with how like the page ranks are done. Well, it's all a black box, but one of the things is that existing sites that have a history, that have been around for a while, get precedent, which is why there's all these placeholder wiki things, because all these sites are like, oh, this game's coming out next year, so make sure you make a really pointless Monster Hunter page about why it's cool to fish.
Yeah. Like, I play PC games because I have my PC hooked up to my TV and I have a controller. I don't have the mouse and keyboard next to me. I'm sitting on my couch. So when I'm playing a PC game and I need to look something up, which is frequent because I'm too old to fucking use my brain to figure things out. I don't consider it a good use of my time anymore. So when I need to look something up, I have this awful feeling of nausea in the pit of my stomach because I'm going to have to look up video game facts on my phone. So it's the worst of both worlds. So I'm like, how do I do X in Dishonored 2? And it's just every result that I could possibly get is going to be a nightmare. Because what are the options? Well, one, I'm going to find a fandom wiki that has the answer.
Which is mostly Taboola links, right? It's just filled with, which My Hero Academia guy are you?
Yeah. It's a million ads, and also there's every page has a huge, awful, like, table that loads at the beginning with, like, biographical information that I don't give a fuck about. And, like, when you open up a fandom wiki page on a phone, what you've really done is that, like, behind the page, there's a bomb. And by opening the page, you've lit the fuse. And you have no idea how long the fuse is, but you know it's lit. And when the fuse runs out, the bomb will go off and the page will crash. So you only have so much time while this page is open for you to actually be able to read anything on it. And the fucking loading, as you say, it goes in fucking fits. So it'll load the stupid table I don't care about and some ads. And then it'll load the first paragraph. And I'm like, come on, get to the part that I actually want to know about. And then the website crashes. And I'm like, I live in hell. What have I done to deserve this? And now the other option, say there isn't a fandom wiki, is someone on Reddit has asked this question too. And that tends to be a good sign because it shows that it's a bunch of replies. So obviously someone's answered this. So you open up Reddit, and when you do that on a mobile browser, you get something like a 75% chance that you just don't get to read the text. And there's a big unclosable pop-up that says, download our app. Download our terrible app that doesn't work, which I refuse to do. Every once in a while, I don't know how they let this stay in, but every once in a while you can read the fucking words, and that's like, what a miracle. And then, very rarely, a statistically insignificant amount of times, there will be in the results a GameFAQs link, which is like an oasis in the desert, because it'll just load a bunch of fucking words that are exactly what you're trying to read. And it's like, wow, I can't believe this is a huge anomaly, a freak occurrence that may as well have not happened.
Well, there's also the third alternative, which is the information you need is in a stupid Discord somewhere with a bunch of screaming maniacs.
Fuck Discord!
There's been definitely a weird trend to make everything like community-based around the Discord, which is like the development of like game resources and stuff, which is just... Okay, well, first of all, you see the dilemma here, right? Like before you would Google something and it would bring you to a GameFAQs thing or there'd be some information. But now we're talking about information that's tucked away behind an app that you have to interface with, which sucks. I don't want to deal with, like, I'm not saying I have to talk with people on Discord. You can just go there to like read the spreadsheets, but like I don't even want to like have a whiff that this is a social experience. I'm just like looking up to find frame data. I mean,
you don't want to be perceived. When you fucking look at GameFAQs, everyone who's read the GameFAQs doesn't get a notification that says Joe joined the server and read the GameFAQs.
Yes,
that does happen in Discord, and it's just like, fuck you. It's okay. Discord is, of the messaging apps, the best one, and I hate it. Like using Discord is an awful experience. It's terrible. Like especially for that fucking like video game informational like retrieval use case, it couldn't be worse for that, because I mean it might as well be like the only place to find data on a video game was like a bunch of friends who were talking about the game were recording themselves at all times and releasing the tapes unedited. It's like, just go through the tapes. Yeah, just go through the tape. Like, it's a fucking chat service, which is the least useful tool for archiving data. It's so fucking annoying too, because you go on and you just want to know one thing. You don't want to become part of the community and become like an encyclopedia man. You just want to know one thing. The thing a normal person would do is be like, hey guys, what's the answer to this question? But you can't do that, because then you will get doxxed and swatted and murdered by everyone.
I'm playing Searlim Ultimate right now, which is a fucking creature collector game that is made for builds and math, and the kind of game where you do spreadsheets about like different kinds of Pokemon like teaming up. It is exactly what it is. And right now I'm trying to figure out. Here's a perfect example. I'm a pyromancer. When you apply a burning effect, it uses your creature's intelligence. Okay, that's fine. There's a perk that makes it so all the enemies start every battle on fire. What intelligence is that coming from? Like, which creature is that? And like and the answer is a bunch of people talking about it and then just saying you should probably just put the creature with the highest intelligence in the first slot anyway. This is unconfirmed, but it's probably just best.
Or the experience I've had is if you say anything, everyone's just like, look at the pinned comment, you stupid cuck. You absolute bitch. How dare you come here and not look at the pinned comment? And it's like, so many problems with that. One, the Discord UI is such that like looking at the pinned comments requires finding an icon and pressing an icon in a place the eye would never fall upon. And also like it looks so unimportant. It opens up a teeny tiny panel with all the fucking pinned comments that you can barely read, and you have to scroll in this tiny drop down to find the appropriate fucking pinned comment. And it's like, even if you don't ask, if you're just like in the server and someone asks, it's horrible to watch, because it's like you're hanging out at the zoo having a great time, and then like you see a baby get thrown in the lion pit and you're like, oh no, there's a baby down there, someone rescue them. But then you realize like, oh no, we're all lions, like we like this actually, like, because everyone joins in stomping on this idiot who had the audacity to not look at the pinned comment. And it's not even their fault. It's the fault of the fucking infrastructure, because the infrastructure is such that it guarantees that there's going to be an infinite stream of people you don't know, strangers coming in and being like, where's the information? Exactly, and you're like, I've said the pinned comment thing 100 times.
We can't hate idiots wandering into servers being like, I don't know anything, because like there's a big funnel that just finds idiots that don't know what's going on and brings them to the server. Like, that's like the process. Like, that is the status quo now. And I don't blame people for being like, why don't you read the pinned thing? But, like, telling people to read the pinned thing is like bailing water in a sinking ship. You see the issue here, right? Like, this produces people who have, like, incomplete information and are wandering around the internet trying to get their frame data like little good gamers.
It's like you recently were over at my house and I made you chicken tendies and I forced you to watch anime.
Yeah, it was good, honestly. That was pretty solid.
I made you watch Cannon Fodder, which is the third of the three short films in the anthology film Memories from 1995.
And it's fascism world. It's what it is.
It's Cannon World. It's a day in the life of a city where every building is a cannon on it, and every single person is employed in maintaining the cannons, building the shells, loading the cannons, firing the cannons. The only thing that's taught in school is cannon science. And there's no one that they're shooting at. Like, the news says, like, the city that you can't see over the hill got hit today. Hooray. But, like, it's fascism world. And the resistance in fascism world is people saying, like, the way that we make the shells makes a toxic byproduct. We have to change to a different method that doesn't have the toxic byproduct. And that is the fucking, like, look at the pinned comment thing. Like, why aren't you looking at the pinned comment? Because it's just like, well, you could just not make shells for the cannon. That would solve the problem. And similarly, like, you could just not have a Discord and have it be a GameFAQs. And it would just be like, they wouldn't have to be like, excuse me, where's the information? Because it'll all just be there. It sucks shit. And Joe, Another thing about Discord is that even taking away that part where they put all the video game information in this unsearchable, unarchivable shit that you have to opt into and everyone can see that you joined, is that like the actual like real use of Discord, like servers where people hang out and have a community, it's a nightmare. Like we have an Anime Sickos Discord and it's full of cool people who say only good things, but like I'm so scared. I'm so behind. I will never read all that shit. It's in another language as far as I'm concerned.
Moderation is like obviously a real concern, and now it's just like Discord, which is increasingly a bigger part of like everyone's digital life, now requires like moderation for it to work. There's just additional layers of complexity that keep happening when I want to look at a text file that says like how I breed which Pokemon.
For me, whenever I open a Discord page and the little blue bar at the top says like 100+ messages since the last time you logged on, that may as well be like the channel got deleted. Yeah. Like there's like I'm never looking at what this is again. Sorry.
There's also an origin of intent difference here, because when it's game facts, you are seeking information. When it's like Discord and there's like 1,000 messages being yelled at you, notification, that the chance to get that information is being thrown in your face. It's with Discord, I'm like always like hunched over in a crouch as like the updates come. Whereas like GameFAQs is like I go to the game site.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
You're looking for the needle, and Discord is there's a needle, and then every second of every day, 1,000 people are shoveling in infinite amounts of hay, and GameFAQs is like here's the needle. And of course, obviously, GameFAQs is a defunct website that is it's a miracle it's still even online at all. No one goes to it. It doesn't make any money. We live in hell. The internet sucks ass, folks.
The poll of the day still happens every day.
That's pretty good. Fuck.
And this isn't all just like my stupid gamer woes. Like I eat, and objectively, like ordering food online sucks more than it did like 5 or 6 years ago.
It so much more.
It's so much worse.
Not only is it a worse experience for the user, like just like the actual act of going through the motions of the takeout site is terrible, but also like there's so many more layers of like moral shame, because you're like, I know that I am like destroying 1 million lives by doing this. Like I know this horrible company that made an awful fucking takeout form that I hate using, in addition to making me go through this horrible experience, is like taking money out of these people's hands and laughing at me.
It's also very diffuse in terms of responsibility. I remember we ordered Indian food at the old place, and like we called directly, the restaurant to order, but they were using a delivery app to deliver, not one of their own people. And then like it never showed up, and it was like a complete like breakdown of like, so who's on the hook here? There's just too many factors. Like, how many vendors are we inserting into a single transaction?
A fucking ton, dude. It's so awful. Like I try to order like from restaurants, and so often I'll go to a website for a restaurant and it'll be like order online. I'm like, I'll order online. I'm not going to Grubhub. And I'll click the order online button, and it will take me to a page that will be blank except for a link that says, here's our Grubhub. And I'm like, fuck. And I have to like, either I don't order at all, or I order knowing that the awful parasite company is going to take 1/3 of my money, and B, that the person delivering my food is going to be the world's tiredest serf. And I'm making their life worse. I'm making them tired. It's like, what the, And then also just like, it looks like shit. The fucking menu sucks. It's hard to navigate. Dude, I went to a real restaurant in life. My body went to the place.
In First Life?
Yeah, in First Light, for the first time since the pandemic began. So March 2020, we went to the fucking restaurant and ate food there. And we sat down expecting to have a great time. We were so excited. It was one of our favorite restaurants we've ever been to. We're finally back. And I see, oh shit, it's the QR code menu thing. They took away the paper menus and it's QR codes now. You have to scan it and look at the menu on your fucking phone. So automatically, this sucks ass. And Joe, it was even worse than I feared because the place we were going is a sushi restaurant. And the way you're supposed to order, and like the fun way to order, is that you don't fucking choose everything you're going to order all at once. You don't say, I want this as my appetizer, and then this, then this, then this, and this, and this, and this. No, you sit down and you're like, what do you want first? And you say, like, I want this first. And they bring you that, you eat it, and then they're like, now what do you want? And you're like, I think we want this. And then, like, you keep getting your food in waves until you're like, I think we're full. And then you pay and leave. When you have a paper menu, this is so much fun and very easy. It's actually a very stress-free way of dining, especially in a sushi restaurant, because you don't know how much fucking sushi you can eat. You don't know how filling a roll is. And also, it lets you, like, amend your order as the wind takes you, as your whims change. So what happens was we looked at the fucking QR code menu, which opened up a fucking mobile browser window, which took forever to load, as is customary. And we saw that every single section of the menu had a special little link that when you clicked it, it would cause a brand new page to load, which had all of the things from that section of the menu. And then if you wanted to go back to the full menu, you had to click back, which would cause the entire page to load. And then if you wanted to look at a different section, you have to click that link, which would cause another page to load. And you can see why this gets a little annoying, especially if you want to compare two sections against each other and see, oh, what, maybe we get a combination of two of these things. And it's especially awful when the waitress comes up and is like, what do you want next? And it's like, wait one moment, please. And you pick up your phone stutter, and you wait for it to
load.
Nightmare. Awful. It was very good sushi. At the end, we loved it. But, like, just a nightmare. Like, every single part of that experience sucked. The internet made it way worse.
Now I'm thinking of a time we ordered pizza and Winnie called to order the pizza, and as soon as the place picked up, I knew something wasn't great because the guy was talking. Usually when you order pizza, you do the talking, and they're like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. This guy was just complaining about how you have to order through their site directly, otherwise the Slice app will take a cut. And then when he was like, oh, should I redo it now? And it's like, no, they're listening to this call. We have to do it through it because otherwise I'll get dinged. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Hell.
Yeah. So the whole process there was like, we would like pizza, and then we call, and they're like, here's another little lesson in like app predatory extortion.
Jesus Christ. It's awful. Joe, here's something that bugs me. Every once in a while, I'll see like an article on like a good site, a site that like has to do with like writing and like articles that are interesting that I haven't seen before. And I'm like, ooh, that actually seems great. And I'll click on it and I'll hit the paywall. Now, Joe, I've come to articulate what it is about hitting the paywall that's so absolutely infuriating. It's getting a full inventory notification in real life. It's we've talked about how in video games when you pick up a goodie and it's like inventory full, you have to do awful chores to pick this up. You have to go to menus now, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm in hell. Why did they give this artificial restriction to me? It's a nightmare to me.
It's also a lie. Like, my inventory isn't full. I have not been to this site 10 times. I have not read 10 free articles here. You're lying to me. My backpack is not full.
Yeah. Holy shit. I'm glad you were brave enough to say that. Like, I'm a truther for that. I think that they, like, the paywall thing that says you've read your 10 free articles this month, it's coded to show up on the first article. I swear to God that's true. It's insane how often I see these fucking full inventory notifications.
It's a disgusting plot to normalize reading 10 things.
I never will. I will read one thing. God damn. You know what used to be a really good website? It was the AV Club. Did you read that back in the day?
Not as much, because like a lot of people who write for the AV Club are smart, and smart in a funny way. But a lot of times I like felt like I didn't have like the pop culture cash to like sort of like really enjoy it, especially the comments. I would say like the comments were just a bunch of people trying to be the funniest guy in the room about like media stuff.
The awful thing was that like not all of them certainly, but a lot of them like were very funny. So like it did work. They did pull it off.
That's like the thing too. It's just like there was a high level of posting quality.
Mm-hmm. And I read it all the time, and I loved it because it was a place that you could get. Like, there's not really very many places online where you can feel like you don't have the cultural cash to understand what's being said. Like it's all like, wow, it sure is good to hunt the Nargacuga in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Getting loot is useful. Like that's what we're dealing with. So like it was amazing to even conceive of a place where like you could hear people referencing stuff you hadn't heard of. And like I read it all the time, and I knew all the different like writers because they all had different styles, and every once in a while they would have like a article where they like all talked to each other, and you could like hear them bickering about their opinions, and they would have like interesting series of articles where they would like have a theme, and they would, you know, go through and look at all sorts of different stuff through this lens, and you would get to know specific writers and their styles, and you would want to know what they think about things. And like there would be times when I would hear like, oh, so and so got assigned to review this movie, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna have a great time with that review. Like to think that I would like hear a movie title and a reviewer's name and like start rubbing my hands together like, oh boy, is insane to consider. And then what happened was all of the AV Club writers who were great and very good at writing all left to start their own website, The Dissolve, which was going to be a writer-first website dedicated to great writing, independent, and focused on high-quality stuff, really, really high-level stuff, thinking about film in a critical, insightful way. It fucking tanked instantly. They immediately closed down, and none of those people, as far as I can tell, have found a home that has let them make the kind of work that they once did. And the AV Club now, well, God bless them. I'm sure there's still some good writers and good pieces that go up from time to time, but it's owned by Geo Media, which is that awful conglomerate that's like the only post that we want our websites to be making is, wow, look at this meme, so that people who are looking up what is this meme I keep seeing will see the AV Club show up first and click on that, and then the article will be, have you seen this meme? It's pretty funny.
What you just said about like stretching the pointless text to just fill the page, the whole sort of like enterprise now feels like that. Like it's this whole blood from a stone thing. I'm thinking of like YouTube videos where like there's an announcement trailer in a game, and then there's just like thousands of recap videos of people just telling you like what's in the trailer that you also watched. It's just like the entire model is blood from a stone. Like you have to just stretch everything out and analyze everything, and it causes you to have just completely superficial, stupid observations because you're being compelled to have utterances.
It is truly nightmarish to see, like, there are people who on the One Piece Reddit are like genuine fans of a guy who literally is, these are his videos, he will like read the chapter and like go nuts when there's like a revelation or an action moment, and like it's the most fake ass theatrical whoa! Like he'll like get up and like throw his chair like when he hears about what Whitebeard's bounty is.
It's adult Blues Clues. This is my issue. We watch these videos at your place of like some guy follows like a random Tokyo citizen around for their day and sort of like comments on it, and it's like interesting, to be clear, because like you get to see what happens when a person works 16 hours a day. But the thing that really irks me about it is like his like whole approach to it is like this very sort of like whimsical sort of like idiot wonder.
He is an idiot. I love these videos, but I will admit he's a fucking dope. And part of why I love him is that it is adult Blue's Clues. But it's tempered by the fact that he's following around a normal person and like showing you like a glimpse into actual like real daily life in a different culture, which you really don't ever get to see, like actual like real daily life, because like why would anyone put that on TV? I'm going to put something cool on TV. So like it's tempered by that. There are videos where this guy, because he's like he can't follow someone around like every fucking week because it like takes a lot to coordinate. So he does a lot of videos solo, and it's just straight Blue's Clues. Like, and it's nowhere near as good.
I don't need to watch them, but it seems so clearly him walking around and being like, "What is this? A fucking circle?" all around Tokyo.
Pretty much. Shit. I will say, okay, this kind of goes against what we've been saying. While we're on this general topic, I want to quickly clear the air on this, because I always see people saying that ending explained videos are like the death knell of culture, and it's so bleak that people want to watch ending explained videos, even for movies that don't even have any ambiguity in the ending. Who is this for? What is this for? This is just trash. What is this for? I'll tell you what it's for. I don't want to watch movie X, but I do want to know what happens in it. And if I go to the Wikipedia and read it, it will use the names of the characters in the plot summary, and I don't know what these names mean. So when like someone is introduced, when like Sam is introduced in paragraph 1, and then paragraph 5, it's revealed that Sam is the villain. I'll be like, who the fuck is Sam? But in an ending explained video, they'll show a picture, and I'll be like, oh, Sam is that actor. I remember his face. And then when Sam comes back, I'll be like, yeah, him. That's what it's for.
I don't understand the death knell of culture argument, because how can you go to Goodreads and look at reviews and like believe anyone that can like process what they're actually reading meaningfully?
Holy shit! I can't believe you've given me an opportunity to talk about this. I kind of forgot about this, but this is one of my this blew my brain out of my fucking skull when I saw this. Oh my god. So I read a couple of years ago Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. It is a novel told in first-person perspective from a clone in the future, and these clones are created in order to be organ banks for the original version of that person, and they are grown up in a little sort of boarding school that is meant to keep them docile and healthy. And they eventually piece together what their existence is, and that they are just meat to be harvested for someone else who is in a different class than them, so that they can benefit until finally enough of their organs are removed that they die. And in the course of this plot, the character who has lived her entire life in this system realizes all of this, briefly tries to struggle against it, fails in her struggle, and then ends the novel just accepting her fate. And I was like, this is a great novel, very fun, and it's an interesting read, very affecting novel. I really enjoyed it a lot. You know what? And I don't know why I fucking thought this. I never think this.
No, if you read a book, the worst thing you can do is go on Goodreads and see what other people are thinking.
Joe, so many people are like, if I were in a society that was based around exploiting me on the penalty of death, I would simply refuse to participate or overthrow it. I would never allow someone in a different class than me, arbitrarily above me, to exploit me on such a deep and profound level. Oh, I never would. I think it's very cowardly the way the character doesn't fight back, and it's just like, you're the clone, don't you see?
Why didn't she learn to code?
Why didn't she learn to code? They wouldn't have taken her brain out for her original if the brain knew coding, because the brain would be profitable then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the media literacy is at an all-time low, but like you can lament that all you want, but it's like always sucked. Like I don't know what to say.
Yeah, this isn't really internet related. This is just since the dawn of humanity.
Yeah.
People be stupid. Okay. So I just saw something in the document I want to talk about. And this is kind of relevant because I just sort of spoke glowingly of how the AV club used to be. And that might lead you down a very beguiling path to a dangerous trap that we don't want to fall into, which is things used to be better. Oh, things are so bad now, but they used to be better. I think that actually, if you've looked at any text written down before 2011, it's the most hateful shit you've ever heard in your life. It's irredeemable. It's trash.
Pretty, yeah.
Like we talked about with Rain Clar when they went Gesto mode, that a very acceptable and like well known and widely shared joke on the internet for a long time was pedo bear, a bear that's a pedophile. And it's like, that was what we were all saying, huh?
Yeah, like that was the ambient temperature.
I spent a lot of time in my high school and I think early grade school time years on a browser-based RPG called Forum Wars, where you play as a forum user who has to defeat forums in JRPG encounters using posting-related stuff as your attacks. And it has a lot of internet culture-based humor in its plot and sort of window dressing. And what was fun with that is that in addition to the game, a lot of the sort of window dressing ancillary stuff was user generated, and there would be like prompts for like, we need stuff for this, and you would write little jokes, and if your jokes got highly voted, they would get included in the game, and you would be given in-game rewards for contributing to it. And it was really fun because like there would be a lot of different cliques that had different sensibilities about what kind of humor they liked and what parts of internet culture they wanted to target specifically, and even like what mediums of window dressing they were best at. And it was very fun because I like found my people, and like I found a clique that like we would write together and like get better at comedy and like give each other critiques, and we would come to understand our own style better. And it was so much fun. I had a really great time. I guarantee that there's not a single fucking word in all of Forum Wars that is not the most like profoundly hateful and unfunny shit you will ever imagine.
Yeah, you were basically guaranteed to be able to find like a anti-Asian joke in a comedian's timeline if you like poke around 2009. I think 2009 is really a sweet year for those things.
Yeah, like back then, if you went to a stand-up set and they had a single joke that wasn't about how much they hated and feared Asians or possibly LGBTQ people, like you were like, wow, this is a groundbreaking experimental night of comedy, the likes of which I've never conceived of. It was just all that from top to bottom. Oh, or possibly just hating women. That was a huge one. Hating women was huge.
That was a common go-to.
Yeah.
So basically, you just have a bunch of feeds now. No one goes to websites anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you probably don't because everything is paywalled.
Yeah.
Not freedomeagle.gun. That, of course, is not paywalled, which is obviously a larger issue, sort of at a societal level.
Yeah. The freedomeagle.gun gets more funding and patronage than any artist you care about ever will.
Yeah, in like a real way, Twitter, it's just sort of the internet. Basically, the internet is just whatever main social media thing you're abusing yourself with. In our case, it's Twitter. But the internet is Facebook to like a lot of people, and like it just is. It's not good.
Yeah, I haven't been on Facebook in years. I think I still have it in case I ever make live events again and need to make Facebook events. But like, I was recently turned on to the podcast Minion Death Cult, which literally the entire premise is they just read Facebook comments. And man, what a violent and warlike people we are. Every Facebook comment is like a million nanas being like civil war is the only true way to cleanse our sins. Blood must wash the country, or else the decadence will rot us from within.
Yeah, that's your nana.
Yeah, and like if you're not on that, you're on Twitter. If you're not on that, you're on fucking Discord or whatever, or YouTube or Twitch. And the fun thing about all this is that, like, when the internet is just a bunch of feeds and the only choice you have is, like, which of the, frankly, indistinguishable feeds are you going to be plugged into?
Which funnel are you sucking from?
The fun shit is that you can be guaranteed to know that every single one of these feeds is owned by a huge baby, like an adult baby, who's never learned a fact, who definitely has an eating disorder, but has a fucking glossy front page article explaining about how it's actually disrupting.
Productive,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
It allows him to have high octane thoughts.
Yes. And all of them are using the money that they're making off you plugging into the feed to do R&D to develop a bomb that only kills Palestinian people.
Also, whenever they like give you a feature, it's never anything that you wanted. Twitter is like the perfect example of this because they're, with the exception of fleets, which they took away.
Of course they did,
because they were good. But every time they make a change, everyone is like, "This sucks. I hate it," and then you just accept it.
Twitter took Vine away. They freak accidented into a hilarious, useful app where it's like, hey, you want to make funny videos? Oh, okay. Well, you know, the one Achilles heel with a lot of people who try to make funny videos who aren't really used to it is they make them way too long.
Time. They waste everybody's time.
What if they had to be 6 seconds or less? And it's like, well, I guess the average funniness of each video would be much higher. And like, yes. And then they took it away. I hear that it was because the Vine stars were going to unionize. Don't have a source on that, so take it with a grain of salt. That's just what I heard.
Yeah. They make it look like shit every week. They just change something. They make it more confusing. They've like really gotten rid of the egg theme. This was several years ago, but when they really dropped the fact that new profiles have the egg, something died there, because deranged egg posts were really funny. Like you could tell when someone was like Jim bunch of numbers, they also were an egg, which was delightful. When
someone is like, their avatar is just like that generic silhouette, it's like, okay, this is a person. They're just a person who hasn't uploaded an avatar.
When an egg is so much better.
An egg is talking to me. It's funny. Like truly, can you imagine a scenario where you could see a headline that's like, next week, Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or whatever, next week, Twitter plans big changes. Can you imagine a universe where you read that headline and you don't go, oh no?
They're always trying to make it so you don't look at the stuff you're following. They're always switching the timeline on you, so they're showing you featured tweets instead of in order that they come, the way a feed works. Mm-hmm. That's what's also so fucking funny about this, is like the concept of a feed only really works if the stuff that is being presented to you is presented in order and it's everything that you've agreed to look at. Obviously, that's not the case anymore.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to get less and less of that as time goes on, obviously. And you can't ever make a new one. You can't make an alternative to any of these sites. Simply because like it's a problem of scale. Like, there's 3 huge trees on the planet that have each become the Tree of Might from Dragon Ball. And the canopies of these 3 trees have fully encircled the surface of the earth, so no sunlight reaches the ground. And your bright idea is, I will plant a tiny seed and it will grow and rival the trees. No, it won't. It will die immediately. No one will ever join Elo. I'm sorry. No one
or
will
Mastodon. Mastodon is interesting. I started reading about decentralized social networks. I get real sleepy. The thing is, I got to have all the posts in one place.
I guess the upside is, Joe, remember there used to be a lot of tech optimism back in the day?
There really was.
Yeah.
I feel like we've completely gotten rid of that. We've just accepted that our purpose on life is to unintentionally beta test Tesla's automated driving, and any innovations that can happen are really just about having a guy bring you something. That's like what the internet can give you. It can connect more shit to it, which will then break or have a layer of complexity.
Yeah, making a guy who's tired even more tired so that you don't have to be tired. Fuck.
Never been horny. Never been horny. Don't tell the paper that I ever got horny.
So to cap off this episode about how the internet sucks, this is very tangentially related. I just wanted to talk about this because my buddy Carl showed me this website. He was like, this is very funny. It's a very funny website. And I'm like, I don't think it'll be that funny. It was very funny, and I want to talk about it now. This is a fucking Internet of Things fleshlight. This is a jacking off your dick sleeve that is connected to the cloud with an app.
Sensosonic technology, pliable surface area for deep pleasure, 4 customizable programs, 10 state-of-the-art sensors, and double the power.
So, yeah, this is a dick sleeve, and it's connected to the internet. And, okay.
Too many things. I got too much shit on me. It's too many things.
So, say what you will about masturbatory aids. There's a stigma around sex toys for people with penises that we don't want to add to. What we do want to add to the stigma of is shit that's connected to the internet and apps for no reason. And this really doesn't have a reason to be connected to an app. I'm looking at fucking selling points right now. And one of these selling points, I'm going to read it straight from the site, is it has 10 state-of-the-art sensors that provide performance feedback on your speed, stamina, and skill.
It's going to give you tips on how to better fuck a flashlight.
Okay, like, my first thought is speed and stamina, are those not opposite things? Like, are they not, like, two ends of the Libra scales?
No, you're thinking of speed in terms of time to nut. It's talking about velocity.
Miles per hour of how you move this motherfucker. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Issue number 2. I didn't know skill was even entering the conversation. Like, were we getting graded all along? Have I been on, like, easy mode? Like, what's happening? Am I, like, secretly very bad at this and I don't know?
That is a scary thought. Like, if I hooked my dick up to the cloud to jack off and it gave me a C+, I would commit Sudoku. I don't think I could deal with that ego damage.
Your DPS is so low, dude. You don't even bait the passive regen of your dick.
This is absolutely what it is. This is DPS charts after you nut. It's what it is.
So, like, so much of the internet being a cruel and awful place that is no fun is that, like, you sort of see the naked truth, which is all of this is just a big machine designed to pull data points out of you in order that they can advertise shit to you. And, like, why would you recognize you're in that situation and be like, I wish it could also happen while I jerked my hog off? Like, I wish there was a big database of my dick's information that could get stolen by hackers.
There's a great sort of mental sort, I think, that separates the people who make this and most of society, which is like, there's a bunch of data that I don't have insight into. In this case, it's about how people jack off. Do I need it? Like, does access to that do anything? And most people would be like, nah, you can leave that behind a closed door. It's fine. But in this case, you make a fucking slick website.
Yeah. So there is a frankly hilarious video trailer for this item. And in a decision that I truly can't understand, it is safe for, well, not safe for work, but it's definitely softcore.
Yeah, this Internet of Things fleshlight is safe for work.
So what it is we open this trailer and there is a man who is shirtless, wearing pants still, in a big warehouse with a ring light above him. He's sort of looking around lost.
They're trying to tell you that jerking off is cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's the pitch here.
And it sort of cuts between him and various generally titillating images of women in various stages of skimpy dress. Again, no one is nude. And then it cuts back to the guy, now only shown from the waist up, in order to sort of suggest that maybe his dick's out. We don't know. And he's like hunched over and shuddering in a very weird way, I guess to indicate dick pleasure.
I'm watching this and I only feel fear. How do you get eroticism out of this?
It is shot like a horror movie. And Joe, you may have gotten to this part. I don't know.
Yeah,
when this part came, okay, I fucking lost it laughing.
Okay, so at 30 seconds in, a old-fashioned tube TV is sitting in the center of the frame, which is framed by his feet. We can assume he's laying on the bed, jacking his hog. And what he is watching appears to be big titty anime. Yeah, she appears to be a ninja. She's like wearing one of those like sweaters where like the underboob would come out.
Yeah. This entire time when they cut to the women doing vaguely sexual things, but no one's actually nude or doing anything sexual, you have your different types of women, different sizes, shapes, races, what have you.
This lady's got fire, which is scary.
Yeah, one of them has fire. One of them is able to control fire. This fucking anime. So, I guess this is like they're throwing a bone to the anime freaks who need cartoons to jack it. But, like, it's so bad. I'm okay. I freeze framed it. I'm no artist, and I'm not exactly a connoisseur of the anime titty. I've made that clear. But I could draw a better boob shape than this thing. It's like square, dude.
She has the progressive agent boob. It's sharp.
Fuck. It's bad. It's quite bad. I'm seeing some more text here that says that this is the same high-tech concept that made the Lalo Sona the world's best-selling sex toy of all time. I'm going to call bullshit on that. How have they determined this? Where are your sources? I do not believe that the Lalo Sona has outsold, let's just use as an example, the humble dildo.
Yeah. The dildo is like the one piece of sex toys.
Oh, fuck. It just is the best one. It's like it gives you everything you want to know. Oh, shit. So, okay.
Someone complained that it's very loud.
Yes. So we looked at, my wife and I looked at the reviews. So a lot of the times when you have these like highly slickly marketed pieces of shit Internet of Things consumer goods, they goose the reviews so that you only see 5-star reviews. Like they literally do not show reviews that don't have 5 stars to trick you. So even if like only 20% of the reviews are 5 stars, it's going to give you the impression that it's 100% 5 stars. This happens a lot. And so you were thinking, is this the case here? Are there any bad reviews of this thing? Because how could there not be? It's a dick sleeve that you have to look at your phone to use. No. But to my absolute joy, you can find the bad reviews. And a lot of them are like the sort of like Tesla freak review where they are raving and ranting about how much they love this thing. And in their rant and rave, they admit like several things that are like deal-breakingly terrible about the product. This one I love. This review says, I liked it quite a bit. The vibrations were certainly noticeable. So was the noise. It's very loud. 4 stars. Like, it's so loud. Great, good for prolonged pleasure. However, it is a little noisy. Like, sounds like a little jackhammer on the end. Okay, maybe I'm crazy, but if I am looking.
I'm not putting a part of me in a device that is being described as jackhammery. That's not happening.
And also, if I'm in the market for something to really level up my jacking off game, if I want my crystal to get really powerful, one of the things that's gonna be on my checklist is not extremely loud.
Yeah, there should be a bone-shaking volume that interrupts all thoughts, that keeps me from finding a moment's peace.
When I use my dick sleeve, I want everyone in the neighborhood to hear it.
I know. Yes, I'm thinking of just, it's like so obvious, the sound that is emanating from the wall, right?
Fuck. Okay. This is an incredible review, line from a review, because it implies so much. The app is a nice add-on, makes controlling it a lot easier. The game in the app is corny. Video games don't get me excited. Add some visuals, like naked or almost naked women. That would be a better enhancement. So this gives us so much information and so little text.
They sold a game that goes with the dick sleeve that evidently
non-sexual.
Is just like JRPG menus.
It's Flappy Bird. Every time you move the sleeve up and down, the little bird jumps up. Just so many levels of decision-making genius here on display. One, that they decided to make a motorized, intensely loud jerking sleeve that steals your dick data for a database and shows you that you're doing a bad job at coming. So that's incredible. Two, on this app, they've decided to gamify jacking off because it was too boring before and no one ever had a reason to do it. And three, the game...
It's not very good. It's shovelware. It sucks.
It's even shovelware. The game is like... It's just completely safe for work game. Amazing thoughts. Another frequent complaint that a lot of these negative reviews had was that this thing's too small. My dick don't fit. My dick's too huge, which I thought was just people brag. It's like people's fucking fetishes, like my dick's so huge I can't even fit. It's like a half brag and half humiliation thing.
But it actually seems to be that a bunch of people are having difficulty cramming their dick in general.
Yeah, because I looked. They have the specifications here, and the insertable length that they advertise. This is the maximum amount of dick you can insert into this machine. And I'm not experienced with these things. I would think, correct me if I'm wrong, that you would want to put your whole dick in it, like the whole thing. And I understand that there's a variable set of sizes for the dick. However, if I were designing a sleeve of such a type, I would not have the maximum insertable length be 4 inches. I would go 1 or 2 more. At least 1 more.
I would maybe put on the box then that your whole dick isn't going in, bro. like just so maybe it's not. You don't need to cram it all in. It's just the top part.
And
but that means half of the comments are about like my hog doesn't fit, which is like wonderful.
Fuck.
But to me, the absolute funniest thing on the page isn't the copy. It's just like the price, and it's not that it's originally $219 how expensive. It's so funny to me to try to quantify this for me. Like I have no sense of reference. Like you are giving me a value proposition that I like never thought I would have to consider. It seems like numbers don't really work. like you're describing something using digits and it's not correct. Like I don't 219 and they okay. It's $219 originally, and they make a big show of slashing the $219 down to $186, which is just more meaningless numbers. Like I have no sense of reference for what 10 supersonic controls cost, and then you're like, don't worry, it's down. It's not 219. We're at 186 now. It's just complete random visual noise.
I don't know what you're saying, that the fact that it's $219 isn't the funny part. This is the most expensive fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Why would...
If you told me this was $900, I would be like, okay. Like, I would have found that just as believable, because it is such an over-engineered solution.
It's so detached from what it is and what it's accomplishing.
So why not? It would cost $900. Sure, that would make sense.
Fuck. God. Jesus Christ. One thing's for sure. This thing's so cool. We love it.
Awesome.
We've been using it for a whole week. We both bought one. We love it.
I never take it off.
It fits me perfectly. I don't see what these guys' problems is. It's actually a little too big. Fuck. This thing's so dumb. Internet's dumb. That's my take. That's my sum up for this whole episode. Joe, do you agree?
Yeah, and the rot will continue.
Rot will get worse. They have to get worse. It's because, the only game in town left these days is get your sweaty hands on as much cash as you can to insulate you from the worst of the event, which is about to occur. And here's the twist. The world is so, as the fucking cost of this dig sleeve will illustrate, the world is so detached from anything real and concrete and any inherent sense of value that the only things that make money are stupid fucking cons, like NFTs, like we just spoke about. And so it therefore follows that everyone is constantly just doing as many sweaty, desperate cons as they can as fast as possible. And cons only work if they're novel, so they gotta get dumber. The rot will rot.
I think this is an AstroTurfed review, but can we end with this? This is very funny because it has the Tesla enthusiasm.
Gimme.
Title of this review is Supersonic Thunder.
Love it.
A powerful upgrade to the original F1. This works so much better and lasts long enough to achieve mind-blowing endings. Here's why I don't think this review is real. It's by a guy named Will London, and the place of origin is London.
That's a little too on the nose, Joe, and especially because it's very similar to some of the copy, the official copy that I'm reading right now, which claims that this item will help you achieve the most overwhelming orgasms of your life. Now, okay, overwhelming is not the word I would use. That makes, again, maybe I'm crazy, but being overwhelmed is
yeah, I want to
the
sweat and
experience.
shake and weep.
I want to come out of this being like, that was too much. I couldn't handle it. Oh, fuck. That's all the time we have for Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, an Anime Sicko.
I'm Joe, an Anime Sicko.
I hope you all enjoy your motorized app integrated dick sleeves, everybody. Get your money's worth. See you next time.
One more thing I gotta read before we go. Instead of standard vibrations, one of the motors emits powerful sonic waves that permeate deep into your penis. This is Havana Syndrome.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at Sharia Uncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.